Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Welcome back to the Billy and Andre Show, the only show that'll make you say, oh look, it's Billy and Andre. And they're driving a small dinghy through the South American seas. Oh no, what's that? It's a torpedo fired by the Trump administration. How are you doing, my friend?
Really good. I'm just... Why do we have a dinghy?
Because we may or may not be running narcotics for some sort of cartel, blah, blah, blah. That was the excuse
Billy,
given
what
anyway.
did you do the last week? Man, why are we running drugs for the cartel all of a sudden?
I'm in debt. Leave me alone.
Not that bad.
You know, most of the millennial generation is in some form of debt. Anyway.
Yeah, emotional.
Anyway, my good friend, would you agree with me on a simple sort of yes/no question? Would you agree that America has some issues right now?
A few of them, yeah. Yeah, I do agree with that.
You would be correct. I have a few of them listed here. So, you have masked thugs going around jacking people who are immigrants off the street, not really checking if they're illegal or not before they do so. They just sort of check, whether you're brown.
Are you talking about ICE there?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, they're basically jackbooted thugs with masks on to hide all the Nazi tattoos that they have on their foreheads. You also have tariffs basically grinding the economy to a halt. The farmers are going bust. They're asking for a huge bailout from the US government, which may or may not happen, probably won't. It's like the third time they've asked for that in like as many years. The deficit is going to be over $1 trillion soon. That's like a record high. Various ecological disasters, various rivers drying up, wildfires, tsunami, like the whole shit, like everything hits America at some point.
I mean, it's such a big place, you would expect all that shit to go down.
You would expect at least some of it. The problem is Trump's also, reduced the amount of emergency funding everything gets, so...
Oh, yeah, I remember that. That happened right in the beginning, didn't it?
Yeah, that was the first thing they did.
They were saving money.
Uh-huh.
Oh, they were saving money from the wrong places, aren't they?
Yeah, and letting kids in Texas drown. There's also the Epstein thing, which Trump can't seem to shake off.
Why would they shake it off? It's like there's only one way to get through that. Show us the list.
Yeah, show us the list, bitch.
I want to see everybody. I just want to see whoever's on the list.
Yeah, no redacting, none of this bullshit. None of these plea deals from people inside prison. Just fucking release the list. You little coward.
It's done. Yeah.
Coward. So with all these problems going on, you'd think that, Mr. God Emperor, Lord of the Tangerines, Mr. Trump, would actually think of something that would, be beneficial for America. Something that would be...
I'm sorry.
I know. You think that he would come up with some sort of grand strategy, or at least the people behind him would be coming up with some sort of grand strategy to make sure this all works out okay and they don't look like a bunch of incompetent dickheads, right?
But that's not gonna help them.
Oh, yeah, even if they did, it would be a lost cause. But instead what they decided to do was invade Venezuela.
Yay! Again!
War with Venezuela, as you correctly pointed out, again. And because, people have this problem when it comes to Trump in specific. It's because Trump does, I think the tactics are called flood the zone. Basically, if you just do as much outrageous bullshit as possible, the media can only report on bits of it.
Yeah.
As long as you keep doing stupid, insane shit, most of it won't get caught. Because the media doesn't really care about most of it. They're going to care about the stuff that makes you look dumb, not necessarily the stuff that is bad, you know?
Like Venezuela.
Like Venezuela. And let's be honest, most of the media doesn't really care about Venezuela because, why would you? It's Venezuela.
Yeah, well, there's still normal human beings living there.
Yeah. I'm talking about the media's perspective. The media aren't people, so they don't think about people the same way that you and I might.
They used to be people.
They used to be. There was a few people in there. Not very many, though.
No. They're all just money-hungry, spineless, work for the corporation, son of a guns.
Yeah, basically. That's a very nice way of putting it. I mean, you could also say they're accessory to genocide for various other reasons that we won't get into.
Yeah. Or ask people why you're not wearing a suit.
Yeah.
And then compliment him on the suit. Dude, that was such BS. It's the same. I don't know. Have you seen the second sitting down of Trump and Zelensky?
No.
And then Zelensky actually came in a suit, but it was a really well-made suit because it was black and it looked like a combat suit.
Nice.
So they're like, oh, you're wearing a very nice suit. And the guy is like...
Yeah, better than that cheap off-the-rack shit you got. Yeah. Fuck you, bitch. I'm Zelensky.
Yeah, but the idea is, it's the same reporter that said that. How fucking stupid are you?
The people around Trump are basically all just sort of yes men, like wannabe YouTube grifters at this point. So there's really no point in expecting any sort of questions from any of them. Real questions, I mean. Previously, however, that was not necessarily the case. In Trump's first term, he got hard questions quite a lot. He was just much better at dealing with them because he was less, demented and senile.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you hit 81, you shouldn't be in power anymore.
Oh, no, that should be a rule. Yeah.
Just saying. Like, it's... I think we said on this podcast a couple of times, there's an age that you shouldn't actually lead men anymore.
Yeah, you should basically fuck off by the time you're in your 80s.
Just go play bingo or golf.
Yeah,
or whatever.
go murder dissidents or whatever it is you would do for fun, you strange, twisted old freak. Just do it far away from us.
Yeah, somewhere in a forest.
So no one's talking much about the whole Venezuela thing that Trump has decided to do, despite the fact that he's put, a not insignificant part of the US Marine Force just off the coast. I'm talking about 4,000 soldiers, a whole bunch of destroyers, no aircraft carriers yet. So that's a sign that the Trump administration isn't, taking this too seriously yet. They're probably going to get to the point where aircraft carriers sort of, show up, but we're not at that point yet. So I figured we'd take this time to sort of reflect on, Venezuela, what Trump might want with it, and also look at the last time he tried shit in Venezuela and see how it went for him, because it's very, very funny. This kind of thing looks like it comes out of like a bad Tom Clancy novel where you just sort of look at it and go, no way, they wouldn't be that stupid, does it, to actually do that? Except in the Tom Clancy novel, it works.
Yeah,
in
because
real life,
it's Tom Clancy novel.
Yeah, exactly. In real life, this tends to not work. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I sort of scoured the internet trying to find like the origin point of why Trump has such a hate boner for Nicolas Maduro, the guy in charge of Venezuela.
Doesn't he just hate anybody that's brown?
There is that, yes, but he called this guy out, but there's tons of brown people he could insult, right? Like, you don't hear him going after the leader of Kenya and saying he's an Islamist or something like that. He doesn't call, well, actually, no, he does call Sadiq Khan a terrorist. I'm trying to think of other brown, like, leaders that he might have had interaction with. Most of the time, Trump doesn't interact with any of these people. Most of the time, he has people to do that for him.
I think most other countries don't have as many natural resources.
That is true. Venezuela has the largest oil, reserve in the world.
And you know how Americans are. If you put too much olive oil on your salad, there's an American coming around the corner.
Fucking literally.
So it's like...
This one time, I, accidentally hit a gas main with a pickaxe, and, the Trump administration came around and, insisted that they have the exploration rights for under my house. Anyway...
No, you didn't. Good story, but no, you didn't. Because we wouldn't be having this conversation if you had...
No, I'd be rich. But the point is... I don't actually... Having looked at this, I don't actually think it's the oil at this point. I think it might have started with the oil. But I think it sort of started with Trump when a fellow called John Bolton... You ever heard of the name John Bolton before?
Sounds like I heard it.
He showed up on British TV a couple of years ago because he wrote a book about what it was like to be in the first Trump administration, because he was in the first Trump administration as a national security advisor. This is a guy who previously worked with George Bush on such successful projects as the Iraq War.
Oh, yeah. I actually watched a documentary about the Iraq War the other day.
It's really fucked, isn't it?
It's insane. Mm-hmm. It's quite literally insane. And there were things I didn't know about the war.
Like all the torture?
Well, not that.
Oh,
well,
you knew about the torture.
I knew about the torture. I mean, how it all actually started, what was the point behind it. Because there's this one dude that actually went as a tourist in Iraq in the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. And he went as a tourist. And people actually welcomed him as a tourist, which is insane to me. I mean, I do have to say he's a man, so makes it easier in those countries. But no, the Iraq War, that was insane.
It was a really, really fucking stupid war, and it got a lot of people killed for literally no reason.
Yeah, I think they said over 800,000 people died.
Some estimates are over 1 million. Some of them are less than 500,000. You depend on your sources. I tend to believe the higher numbers because why would Americans want to tell you how many civilians they killed? But it's in the hundreds of thousands at least. Yeah. And endless devastation to the Iraqi countryside, to the people there. Cities bombed to shit. You got the rise of ISIS after Saddam falls, because Saddam was sort of keeping those guys in check, and destabilized the entire region. Lots of people died pointlessly. Blah blah blah. this is the kind of thing that John Bolton absolutely fucking loves. He gets the most amazing boners over these things. President Eisenhower from the 50s was quoted as saying, "I hate war as only a soldier who has lived it can hate war," which is a nice sentiment.
Yeah.
John Bolton loves war about as much as someone who dodged the Vietnam draft can love war. He loves war.
Allegedly.
I mean, like...
I'm sorry, I had to get it in there. It's second take. I need to stop you.
No. He genuinely does love war. I think he'd
Okay.
even admit that.
Okay.
Yeah, he absolutely... Like, you know the Nazi German guy from Helsing Ultimate?
Yeah.
Where it's like, I love war. It's like, you put it like that speech in John Bolton's voice, like give it a southern accent, and that's basically exactly the same.
Allegedly. I'm just sprinkling in there. I'm just chucking a whole bunch of them in there.
Most of this is not alleged, but whatever. But yeah, he was very, very close to Trump in the first term. He was constantly whispering in his ear about like who to invade next. And one of his big things is South America. He fucking loves doing CIA stuff in South America.
Who doesn't?
Apparently, according to him, not the CIA. He basically called the CIA a bunch of pussies who were, quote, traumatized by the Bay of Pigs and therefore weren't doing their job properly in South America.
I'm pretty sure the CIA still has quite a few operations with the cartels down there.
They do.
I'm pretty sure they're selling a lot of drugs to Americans because, you know, you need to sponsor yourself somehow. I'm pretty sure they're the ones that actually leave the drugs to pass. The DEA has nothing to say about. I'm pretty sure the CIA still loves South America.
They still love South America so much they want to be there all the time, even when they're not wanted.
I mean, nobody wants the CIA in their country.
Yeah, besides, let's think about this. If they were, you know, the CIA was scared of doing another Bay of Pigs, you know, they wouldn't have done the entire 1970s and 80s, because that's all they did during the 1970s and 80s was fucking foment discord in South America. Like,
yeah, because, you know, money.
Yeah, because for some reason America has this idea that South America is their backyard. Like, that's their sort of sphere of influence.
That's where you send the kids with the fireworks.
Yeah. So
they're like, all these people are allegedly psychopaths. Let's just send them there.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
Let's get all of our naughtiest boys and get them to all play together in this playground over there. That way they won't hurt all the nice, dignified children. That's basically what they're doing. And it's basically what they've done for basically, you know, forever. You know, Operation Condor, look that up if you know, fancy getting quite depressed. Operation Gladio, I believe, was another one. They've all got like dumb operation names. There was the Iran-Contra thing.
It's the Americans, man. What
yeah,
did you expect?
The Americans love fucking around in like South and Central America. It's like one of their favorite things to do. And John Bolton is like an old school one of those guys who absolutely fucking loves doing that shit. He brags about it in his books, in interviews. He'll like tell people, "Oh yes, I was instrumental in this coup." Blah 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 blah. Like, he has no shame, and he's perfectly fine with telling people, "Well, it's to defend America." And then you ask him, "From what?" And he can't answer you.
Of course he wouldn't be able to answer you because America doesn't know what they stand for anymore, right?
No.
Because initially, after the Second World War, you would look at America and you're like, yeah, they're here to defend all of us from something that horrible to ever happen to us. And they're investing money back into Europe to make sure Europe comes back on their feet. And America, they're absolutely amazing human beings because they're here to help us. And then it was all a lie.
Yeah.
Like, because we've been lied to by them so much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on, dude. You can't go and every single time there's some kids fighting somewhere. I mean kids, I mean dictators. But, you know, they're basically kids. Because a normal human being would not be a dictator. They're like somebody that didn't develop their brain enough and they're still like, oh, this is the playground. This is my toy. And they start fighting. But here's... the most horrible thing is America could have been the most greatest thing that ever happened to this world, right? They have the technology, they have the infrastructure, they have absolutely everything they could ever desire from a country to be the greatest and the front leading country in this world.
To be the world police, but not like a bad thing.
Yeah. Well, not like the Met. But.
No, or like any American police force ever.
Yeah, it's like they had the potential to actually do good in the world, but the more you see the news,
the more they basically are just the British Empire again.
Yeah.
You know? Like, they basically nicked our shit.
But it's a little bit worse, actually. It feels a little bit worse.
Yeah.
At least, you got roads with the British Empire.
I'm pretty sure the Chinese are actually the ones carrying on the great legacy of the British Empire in that respect. Yeah. They love building roads in Africa. No idea why.
They don't lead anywhere.
No, well, they lead to, from the oil refinery to the dock where it gets shipped to China. So they're fine with it. But yeah, these sort of people were sort of all swimming around in the Trump administration. You have, Bolton himself as the national security advisor. You have people like Mike Pompeo, who's kind of a bloviating dickhead, but also loves doing CIA bullshit. Gina Haspel, who was also head of the CIA after Pompeo got promoted or something. She used to torture people in Guantanamo Bay, and she was put in charge of the CIA. All of these people will come up in sort of varying degrees later. But for whatever reason, by sort of the middle of his first term, Trump absolutely despised Maduro. Despised the guy. Like, would not shut up about him. He still technically hasn't. All that trendy Aragua Venezuelan gang shit.
Yeah. He's
basically trying to say, well, it's Maduro. Maduro's doing this. He's trying to subvert the country from the inside. That's why we have to kill all the brown people. That's basically what he's doing. So Trump's massive hate bro sort of energy for Maduro sort of only kept intensifying until about 2019 or so. What were you doing in 2019, dude?
2019, 29 years old, working hospitality. Right before COVID, wasn't it?
Yeah, the year before COVID.
Yeah, nothing too important.
That's the thing. We didn't know it was all going to get worse immediately and next year,
Oh, no, we kind of knew it was going to get worse, Billy.
Oh, we knew it was going to get...
To a certain degree, we knew it's going to get worse.
In the terms of, the sense of, chaos theory, everything eventually becomes worse.
No, in the sense of, as soon as you saw an orange TV personality become the president of the biggest military force in the world, that's when we knew we messed up. Because with Obama, you say whatever you want about Obama, right? He was kind of a step forwards. As in, he had some good ideas, very poorly implemented.
And not really believing in any of them. But
yeah, he kind of tried to make an American NHS with Obamacare and whatever.
That was a terrible attempt to make the NHS.
No,
dude.
But that's what I'm saying. He had the right idea.
Yeah,
he had the right idea. But
stuff should be generally better is not a bad idea.
Yeah. He had the good idea. He tried to get into it. His wife. I still feel like his wife should have been president.
His wife's way smarter than he is.
She is so much smarter. But the idea is, as soon as you went from a black president to an orange president, you knew you fucked up. I'm just saying.
If we have to invent new racism to take down the president, then we're in La La Land.
Yeah, we messed up.
Anti-orange racism must now exist, and we have to create it, and it sucks. That's a burden that you put on people.
Yeah, that's fine. I will take it to my grave, Billy.
Yeah, 2016 was kind of the year we knew everything was going to shit. To be honest, though, by 2019. I was in a slightly different mindset, I was thinking...
You were supporting Trump?
No.
Okay.
I was thinking, okay, right, the big idiot is actually pissing off his own cabinet so much that he's never going to get any of this, most of this done, which he didn't do a whole lot during his first term. It was mostly just, him making gaffe after gaffe and the TV news going, lol, what an idiot. And that was it for 4 years.
Yeah.
So a lot of the stuff he actually did sort of snuck under the radar. I was aware of this because I keep my ear to the ground and I just thought it was just funny. But what I didn't realize is this operation had been sort of planned and led up to for a very long time. So let's sort of get into it. Trump has a vendetta against Maduro. He's going to try and get him out of power by any means necessary. So what they do is they try and find a guy in Venezuela who's going to be their guy. He's going to be the new leader who they can hold up on a stick and say, hey, Venezuela, wouldn't you prefer this guy?
Okay.
And they chose a man called Juan Guaido. Have you ever heard of that name?
No, I didn't.
For a while, and I'm talking early 2019, he was basically doing a PR tour, around every sort of Western country, America, Europe, that kind. I think he went to Russia for some reason, but
they still have some money.
Yeah, they still hadn't completely fucked themselves yet, so they were still on the main stage. Juan Guaido was announced and introduced everywhere as the real president of Venezuela.
Was he voted in?
No.
So why is the real president?
Because...
It's not like it's a monarchy where it's this is the real king. Because if you go down that route, I have other problems. Because that's how... Because monarchy will never come back, even though I wish it could.
Dude, we've got a monarchy here. Do you think it's doing any favors for us?
No, not current monarchy. Current monarchy is rubbish, especially with the current another old man. Because he's 1 foot out the door. Yeah. Oh, dude, can I rant?
Oh yeah.
Can I rant? Yeah. Dude, I absolutely hate the fact that we had a funeral, which actually she deserved. She deserved more. She was phenomenal as a monarch. Even though she did some stuff, Diana.
Yeah, Kenya.
Yeah. Yeah, but the thing is, she was still a better monarch and a more respectable monarch. And then we had a coronation. He's gonna die in a minute, and then we're gonna have another funeral, another coronation. My tax cannot take this. I'm just saying, like in a country that the water supply is poisoned by our own shit because they let it leak into our fucking drinking water. I don't want to have another coronation. No, I'm not gonna lie. I don't want another funeral. I don't want another coronation. Can you fix the pipes?
The next coronation should just be like two guys. They sort of like, have like an Amazon worker drop off the crown. Like they can do it like an unboxing video.
Listen, they can do it the way I did my wedding, man. I had 8 people at my wedding. It was great. I had the best time of my life. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's just get 8 people to this guy's coronation.
Office.
In the registry office.
Are you here to register your coronation, sir?
Exactly. 2 people sign as witnesses. We're done. It cost me less than £1,000, man, for my wedding. Where people spend thousands and thousands of pounds, which I never got for a wedding, for a big party. Let's just do that. 1,000 grand. Listen. I'll go on a limb. I'll pay for it. 1,000 grand. And we're done. I don't want to hear anything of it anymore. Let's be done with it.
This is an offer going out to the palace. I hope you're receiving us, Windsor.
Sorry.
I would fucking give my right ball to see that. That would be so fucking funny. Like you designing like the next coronation for like William or whatever.
I'll just go there like, come on, Willie. Let's go. Come on, Big Will.
We've got about an hour before this rented hall.
Pictures. Come on, let's go. Pictures.
I'm afraid there's a meat draw happening after this, so we need to hurry up, guys.
Yeah. I need to go to Bing after this. Can we hurry this up? Get it done, and then just leave him in a room with some champagne. That's done.
So what we should have is budget monarchy. That is the ideal system in Andre's world.
You don't need all that fluff. There's no point for all that fluff. It's quite literally no point. There's not even that many royalists left. Because after Lizzie died, there's not many royalists left.
No.
Because everybody hates him.
Yeah, everyone thinks he's a dickhead.
They should have just jumped over him, go straight to William. It would have been much better. I think he's going to be a much better monarch.
He'll probably be 80 by the time he gets there, so,
Oh, let's hope not. Well, at the same time, I don't want to spend... I don't know, dude. I'm conflicted.
We're going to be like 50 odd, and like Prince Charles is going to be like 102, and like
he's a lizard. He will never die.
He will literally never die. Yeah, like, he's stealing people's blood at night to like pump into himself to keep him alive for another day.
Yeah,
that's the kind of thing we'll be watching when William finally becomes William the 17th or whatever.
Okay, let's rant over. Go on, because we're not going to finish this.
We're not going to finish this either. Yeah. So anyway, the first Trump administration spent years like just fucking with Venezuela in various ways. They would call him out publicly all the time. Then we would impose sanctions on him, more sanctions than were already imposed, because Venezuelan oil has basically been like cut off from the rest of the world for like 10 years. Probably more than that, actually, because I think the first sanctions were under George W. Bush. Anyway, Venezuela gets sanctioned to fuck. Nicolas Maduro is not good at running a country. Like, he's really shit at it. So, like, internally, Venezuela has, like, huge fucking problems with, like, food prices and all sorts of shit going wrong.
Yeah.
You'd think this would be, like, the perfect, like, sort of opportunity for Mr. Juan Guaido, this guy that has been selected by everybody else except Venezuela, to be in charge of Venezuela.
What, did he actually get support from other countries?
Yes, mostly America, but also, like, the rest of the European Union sort of gave in to Trump and just sort of said, yeah, we'll pretend this guy's supposed to be in charge of Venezuela. I believe he was elected to a position, but he was elected to like he was an MP, basically.
Okay, yeah.
He was just a regular MP and was leader of the opposition. So they thought, oh, well, despite the fact this guy hasn't run in any presidential elections or whatever, we're just going to, install him. Privately, I will point out, Trump thinks this is a terrible idea. Because he meets Juan Guaido and says, well, he just doesn't have what it takes.
I mean,
he called him a weak pussy. Basically, he just said he was weak. He said like this guy doesn't have the source to like do a military takeover. What are you idiots? Like,
are they? What political system is in Venezuela at the moment?
It's allegedly a democracy. It's not really. They sort of stopped it. Like 2017, I think there was a constitutional crisis of some sort. There was a huge argument over the constitution of Venezuela. Maduro changed a whole bunch of shit to make sure that he would continue winning elections. And
are they still voting for
on paper?
Oh, so they're the same. They're fascists like the Russians.
Kind of, yeah. It's kind of Russia is probably the best and sort of closest thing, I would say.
Okay.
Maduro is not a good leader. He basically used all of the Trump administration fucking with him to sort of, well, look, the international community's out to get me. I guess I better clamp down on all everyone's rights. Fuck it. So he started doing that. Still is doing that. He's kind of fucked Venezuela, unfortunately. Bit of a shame, but as you will see, the Trump administration's attempts to get rid of him were not particularly good. So,
okay, let's go.
2019 rolls around. Venezuela's undergoing something of a crisis, you could say. There's all this propaganda. It's like the media's pumping it out everywhere. Like, look, the people of Venezuela are starving. Look, like the people of, this place, like they're rioting, blah, blah, blah. The US starts sending aid convoys in massive inverted commas. These aid convoys would be, of course, given security from US troops.
Well-armed troops, I assume.
Yeah, well-armed troops, of course. And no, you don't need to know what's actually in the trucks. You don't need to worry about that.
They're support.
Yeah, they're just there.
Troops.
They're just it's food. It's food. Don't worry about it, guys. Don't look into it. For the troops, yes.
For the troops.
It's supplies for the troops, the ones we're going to take over there. Anyway, it's the guy who was put in charge of this mission was a fella called Elliot Abrams. Are you familiar with Elliot Abrams?
No.
I would not expect you to be. He's a CIA guy.
Oh, yeah.
And also...
what do you know about him? Are you going to get put down now, aren't you?
No. This is all very, very publicly known. It's publicly known that Elliot Abrams was involved in the Iran-Contra affair, where they were selling, drugs to pay for weapons for revolutionary groups in Iran, that kind of stuff. Basically, he was involved in a whole bunch of torture allegations. I believe he was sent to prison for, I think it was war crimes or crimes against humanity? I'm not sure. One of the two.
They're kind of the same.
They're kind of similar, yeah. So he got sent to prison for that. I believe it was either the Bush administration or it might have been the Trump administration pardoned him and then put him in charge of this operation. So they sent the one guy who's famous for doing coups in like the South American countries, went to prison for doing coups in South American countries, and he's now back leading the aid convoy into a South American country.
Yeah, no, he knows South American countries, man.
He's just an expert on the region.
Yeah, he's just an expert on the region, and he's American. He speaks their language.
He's qualified. He's got experience in the intelligence community.
He knows what's going on. He knows a couple of people. Opens.
They're all cartels, but whatever. Yeah. So yeah. This led to some very hilarious news days, I will say that, because there was lots of footage of, like, trucks being stopped on the bridge and, like, sort of confused American soldiers going like, we got these trucks full of aid. And then the Venezuelan, like, border security are like, no, fuck off. And then
they're like, we kind of know what he's doing.
Yeah, it's just like, no, we're not letting you in. What do we look like kids to you? We were around the last time you did this. So that didn't work. What they then tried, and I'm quoting mostly from a Wired article that was sort of written a few years later, but what they did try, and they kind of failed to do, was a massive CIA-organized cyber attack. So all like the internet and infrastructure systems, payroll, for example, they were trying to cripple the entire economy of Venezuela and cause more rioting. That way, Juan Guaido was going to sweep in, like lead a popular revolution, which will overthrow the dictator, get the military and the police on his side because no one's getting paid, and like take over the government that way. It didn't work.
Obviously, because we wouldn't be talking about it right now.
No, of course it didn't fucking work. Apparently the CIA was so half-assed this, like they really couldn't be bothered. I think they were getting kind of sick of like dealing with Trump's bullshit. Like the guys at the top of the CIA are like appointed by the president, right? So
yeah.
They're Trump's boys. But the guys like the level below that, like the guys who actually do shit, they were like, why are we pretending that this unpopular guy who has never won or even run for a presidential election before is going to take over Venezuela? That's not going to work. We don't have enough defectors in the military. We don't have enough defectors from the police. Say what you want about Maduro, but he's smart in that he pays his police and military quite well.
I mean, that's how you don't get shot.
That's how you don't get shot in the back of the head, yes. So, they've launched this massive cyber attack. It doesn't take effect until about 2 weeks after Juan Guaido shows up with a bunch of guys outside of a military base protesting that the military aren't getting paid. So none of these cyber attacks, they're supposed to all hit at the same time. They
didn't.
They did not. They hit
Slow internet, was it?
Apparently, inside the CIA, there was different teams fighting over who got the best hackers. So, like, the guys who were, like, the anti-Russia squad were, like, arguing with the guys who were in the anti-Venezuela squad or something like that. I'm not entirely sure of the internals of it, but if this Wired article is to be believed, they were infighting so much that they sort of missed their deadlines, and they kind of half-arsed it.
It's absolutely ridiculous, right? They used to
they used to send, like, you know, rogue agents down there to, like, foment discord and lead popular revolutions and shit and have it work. You know, they used to really know how to sow dissent in a population like that. They really, like, maybe John Bolton was right. Maybe they have started to suck at their jobs more.
I mean, would you like to be good at a job that you constantly see it's actually destroying countries and destroying people?
Yeah, but
You think that internal dispute was about people actually getting some common sense?
No, it's the CIA, dude. If you join the CIA, if you willingly grow up and say, yeah, I want to work for the CIA, you're signing up to be evil, and you know that, you know? I mean...
Well, maybe there's one guy, he's like, as a child, got affected by the CIA. His life was, you know, turned upside down, and he's like, I want to go change it from the inside. And that's what happened in Venezuela.
There are a lot more women in the CIA these days. Maybe that's like softening them up a little bit.
Wow, dude, you can't say that.
No, in a positive way. Like, they're actually thinking about the consequences of their actions in a social sense.
I'm so glad you weren't thinking the same effect I was thinking.
No. I guarantee those CIA women can probably be just as evil as the men. But, you know, they're less inclined to be because they don't have the braggadocious bullshit that men do of, like, well, we got to go get him back. You know, they don't have that as much energy. So maybe it will, you know, be better for the CIA overall to have diversity and equity and inclusion.
Yeah, no, you didn't even say that with the straight face, but like...
I know. It's just funny to me. So yeah, that didn't work. Juan Guaido and a bunch of, like, other people sort of got, like, I think Juan Guaido managed to get away, but a bunch of other people got arrested. The group of people that he managed to rabble-rouse was about 50 guys, and then they all just got smushed by the, you know, Maduro's security forces, because of course they did.
Of course they did.
Not to be deterred, Juan Guaido decided to go outside of Venezuela looking for help. So, after the failed cyber attack on the army payroll, he goes to Colombia. And in Colombia, he finds a man called Josh Gordo. I believe Gordo? He's French-Canadian. I don't know how to pronounce his name. But he runs a private military contracting company. You know what those are?
But mercenaries.
Mercenaries, yes. Yeah. So he has a ragtag bunch of mercenaries that he got from defectors from the Venezuelan army, and a couple of, like, American, like, special forces guys, which he also was. He was a Canadian who served in the United States military.
Probably paid well.
I just don't know. I didn't even know you could do that. Like, I didn't realize they accepted Canadians in the US Army. That's really weird to me.
I think he might have had double citizenship.
Oh, yeah, you might be right on that.
Because you cannot get double citizenship and then participate in any army of the country that you... Like, I could participate in the army here without even being a citizen.
Really?
Yeah. I can enroll anytime.
Oh, okay, I suppose. I mean, this guy was like a major, so he would have been an officer. He would have been commissioned.
I looked, a few years back, I looked into enrolling in the army. I don't know why, but I looked into enrolling in the army.
Were you poor and desperate at the time?
No, I wasn't actually. I was quite well, but I thought it was a good idea for some silly reason. And
Did you see one of those adverts? It was like, gain marketable skills in the army.
What marketable skills did in the army?
I don't fucking know.
Pull a gun on people. No, but the idea is, I looked at it and it actually didn't require you to do anything.
Really?
You're taking a physical exam and that's it. And they're like, all right, cool, here's the gun. Go. We're fighting those people. Now go. Yeah. You know, I think it's more of a, we need kind of cannon fodder, and I mean, we'll take.
I know
it
the
anyway.
Romanian army's always looking for people.
No, thank you. I am looking to get diagnosed with psychological disease.
Just so you can stay out of the fucking Romanian army.
I do not want to touch any of that.
I've met people who were in the Romanian army and they said, no, don't do that.
No.
They keep calling me up and offering me like higher paid positions. I'm not going fucking back there.
So if Romania goes in any war tomorrow, technically, if they call me up, I have to go participate in the war.
Fuck, that sucks.
So if
What's the maximum age for that? Like,
no, there is no maximum age.
oh really?
You can fight up to 60.
That's bullshit, man.
It's bullshit, but that's it applies to you as well.
Yeah.
If the UK goes into, even though we never fought in our lives, I mean we fought, but not in a war. But you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
isn't that insane? Coming to a normal human, like a normal human, because soldiers are not human. No, that's not what I'm saying. It's going to a civilian, right? They never held a proper firearm in their hands. Right, I mean, like not an air pistol or a BB gun or whatever, like a proper firearm, and be like, you know what? In 3 weeks, I'll give you the right to kill someone. How insane is that?
I know, right? They'll even take you to the place where they have people they want to kill.
Yeah, they just put you on a plane, and all of a sudden they're like, go on, play with them,
shoot people.
Go
I know you haven't
them.
taken a solid shit in 3 days. Go shoot some people.
Yeah, exactly. Don't drink the water. Because you can't shoot yourself and shoot people at the same time.
Watch me. So, yeah, anyway, getting back to this. Mr. John Gordeau, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name right still.
It's Godot.
Godot.
Okay,
He starts a company called Silver Corps. That's the name of his private military contractor. He is offered, should I say, $212 million. $212 million by Juan Guaido. Juan Guaido says, I will give you $212 million once I've taken over the country. And then if you help me take over the country. So, this guy...
Did you go to him with the IOU ticket and be like, here's your IOU ticket. You can cash it in when I'm president.
I believe the contract stipulated quite clearly that if he failed, he was not going to get the $212 million.
But that's one way of motivating people, you know?
Yeah.
If you ever want a contractor to get a job done right really quickly, just pay him at the end. You're like, I'm not going to pay you till you actually finish the job.
Yeah, plus Juan Guaido is quite a rich guy. Like, he's got, like, institutional, like, old money from, like, Venezuela. He's not that rich. He doesn't have that kind of money to throw around. He can't give the guy half first and then half when he finished the job. You know, he can't, like, you know, he's not building a conservatory here. He's trying to persuade this guy to invade his own country. So, to this end, Mr. Gordeau finds, I can't pronounce this guy's name, Alcaca, something like that. A Alcaca, yes. A defecting is a Venezuelan major general. Managed to get him on side. They recruit a bunch of people, and they're like, okay, so also the US put a price of $15 million for anyone who killed Maduro. So they put a bounty on him, basically, internationally. So
How is that even legal?
I don't fucking know. I thought they got rid of that shit in the 1800s. I didn't realize they still...
You can't put bounty on people.
Yeah, that's like Running Man shit. That's like a Stephen King book that you know nobody likes. You know, it's a really stupid idea.
Yeah,
but
how can you still do that?
I don't know. It's the American government, man. It's Trump. You know, it's the first Trump era. That doing dumb shit is like sort of daily for them. So yeah, the Silver Corps people, they got together a bunch of guys, and they decided they're going to go from Colombia, which is right next door, to the coast of Venezuela. They have a plan all set up. They're going to meet up with dissident elements of the military. They're going to infiltrate the jungles. They're going to stay there for a couple of days, and then march on the capital of Caracas, surround it, you know, lay siege to it, basically. Find Maduro's house, surround it, lay siege to it, force him out of power, right? That's going to be their plan.
Sounds like a plan.
It does sound like a plan. It sounds really, really good on paper. Guess how many guys they had?
Is that in triple digits?
No.
It's not in triple digits?
Nope.
99. I don't know. I'm just going...
60. They had 60 guys, and they had 2 boats.
Well, they tried to overtake a whole government with 60 guys.
Yes.
When Romania took down their president, their communist president, their dictator, it was half of the bloody country.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen those crowds, man. I've seen it's on TV.
It was half of the country that had to do that. 60 people.
60 guys.
Or they just, it sounds like a stag do. I swear to God, it's like a really big stag do.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, boys,
We're getting in the boat. Let's go.
Let's go shoot something. Ooh, yeah, beers.
Yeah.
That's how it sounds.
Yeah, the two boats in question, they were not particularly big boats. I believe they were modified fishing vessels of some sort.
If you want to fly under the radar,
yeah,
that would be like,
yeah, that would make sense. Get two boats with sneak these guys aboard. Sneak these guys onto the shore, infiltrate the jungle. That's what you would do, right?
Yeah.
Instead, what they did was they overloaded the boats not just with people, but with shitloads of machine guns, military equipment, explosives, that kind of thing. So much so that one of the boats nearly sank, and they had to chuck a bunch of the stuff into the sea to stop the boat from sinking under its own weight. The first boat approached the shore. Bear in mind that the Venezuelans know they're coming. They know that this is happening. The Associated Press actually put out an article a day before. This occurred on the 2nd of May 2020. On the 1st of May 2020, the Associated Press puts out an article that says, Maduro knows about this invasion that's going to happen, and he's probably going to be prepared for it. So not only does Maduro know this is going to happen, but
the press knows
this is going to happen, and they're telling people, hey, this is going to happen before it even happens, and the guys aren't looking at the paper, so of course they don't think, maybe we should change our plan. No, they just carry straight on with it. So the first boat comes towards this small fishing village where they're planning to disembark and sneak off into the woods. There's a shitload of Venezuelan security forces already there, and they're just waiting for those guys to pull up so they could just arrest them, basically.
Yeah.
You'd think the clever thing to do would be okay, bail, back out. Let's get the fuck out of here and find another place to sort of land. Let's not do it here because there's a shitload of police there.
Can I guess?
What do you think they do?
Full out firefight.
Yes. Exactly.
Honestly.
The American Special Forces guy who is allegedly in charge of that boat, he starts shooting first.
I think he played way too much Call of Duty. He's like, this is gonna be so much fun, boys. Just chucks down the monster and just jumps into it.
Literally, it feels like it's just let's fucking go, boys. And he's been up 2 days on meth, and he's not slept. He's been chugging Mountain Dew, and he's got he's covered in Cheeto dust where he hasn't not even washed his face, just sweat running down the Cheeto dust because he's just been gaming so hard. This guy's mindset.
Move on, because that was. That was way too descriptive.
Cosmic horror of gamers. The guy who started shooting, everyone else on the boat starts shooting. The boat gets sunk basically immediately because it's not a very large boat, it's not very well armored, and the guys on the shore have machine guns. So they just shoot holes in the fucking thing and it sinks. About 8 of the 30 people on the boat die, the rest get arrested.
That's right. Could have been worse.
Could have been worse. I mean, when you read up about this story, a lot of the story was they got subdued basically by civilians and it's true, the security forces did hire a bunch of local civilians basically to help with the arrests. So these guys basically got their ass beat by fishermen and a couple of police officers with machine guns. The second boat saw what happened to the first boat, went, fuck this, bail. They tried to get out of the dock, the little cove that they were trying to land in, and head further up the coast. Of course, the Venezuelan Coast Guard were right there, and they just, sank the ship and took everyone prisoner.
It's insane.
Both of the Americans, in particular, were of particular, they were very, very useful bits of propaganda for the Venezuelan government because they were interrogated about their motives and they were doing so live on TV. So they were interrogated and they said, they told basically everything about the plan. The Maduro regime, of course, embellished it to say that, yes, well, they have the great ideological crusade to crush all of us Venezuelans, blah, blah, blah. But he was kind of right. America does have a crusade to try and crush Venezuelans.
They have a crusade to crush most South American countries because, cheap labor.
Yeah.
That they keep on sending back for some reason.
I don't get it. That's part of the reason their farming is collapsing as well, because none of the Mexican guys who pick the oranges are showing up to work anymore.
Because of ICE.
Yeah, because they'll get arrested. Fuck that.
Yeah,
I'd be in hiding too.
Do something else.
If I lived in America, I'd be like in hiding already anyway for different reasons.
Yeah,
but
we're never gonna get into America.
Nope, we are never going there.
Not because we don't want to, we just can't.
Yeah, we just can't. No,
because they can ask us for the social media. So,
yeah, it's just like, oh well, do you do anything on social media? Oh well,
No.
I make a YouTube show that nobody watches, and they'll be like, oh yeah, look, literally nobody watches it. What's this thumbnail? That would literally be it. It'd be like, oh fuck, I'm gonna have to have a talk with the NSA or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this entire situation was a massive, massive shit show, and it was also quite a public shit show. Like, the Maduro regime is not being, like, quiet about this. They're like, ha ha ha, lol, we captured your goons, you fucking twats. Look, more evidence they're trying to take us over, guys. More evidence that America is fucking evil and run by a deranged lunatic. And, the propaganda makes itself. You don't even have to lie, really.
Yeah.
You could just say, like, hey, look what these fucking idiots tried to do. So Maduro remains in power to this day largely because of the propaganda wins he got off of this.
Yeah.
Trump, of course, came out basically immediately and denied everything to do with it. He said there's absolutely no connection between my government and this, rogue actor who was like, acting on his own behalf to try and make money. And, none of it, it's not connected to anything to do with us. If I'd done it, it would have worked. Because I'm me, and that's basically what he said. Like, if I invaded Venezuela, it would have worked.
To a certain degree, like, I'm playing devil's advocate, right? He might have not had anything to do with it.
Small problem with that hypothesis. I left this out for a very specific reason. Turns out silvercore.usa was hired by the Trump administration to do rally security. So they knew each other. They knew each other quite well.
Oh, never mind. I'm just saying, because I always like to play the devil's advocate,
I can see, like, there is some plausible deniability there.
Yeah, yeah.
But
he said he's allegedly.
He's allegedly, yeah. But yeah, John Bolton later came out and said, yeah, that we did kind of, like, it was sort of a Hail Mary last-ditch effort to try and destabilize the Maduro regime. He didn't. They weren't in on the direct planning of it. It was mostly this Jordan Gordeau guy. But yeah, he fucked it up so badly. He fucked it up so badly that even whilst his troops were getting captured, he was releasing Twitter videos bragging about what a great job they had done and what a brave, noble effort they were to try and rescue the Venezuelan people.
Wow, dude, that's insane.
Yeah. He later tried to spin it as, well, I was lying about there being more soldiers in the area, that we have activated secret cells, and I was trying to get the Venezuelan government to basically not capture my guys. Didn't work, but that's what he said he was doing. I personally don't buy it.
I'm surprised not a lot of, like, so all these were these just Venezuelans on the boats?
Most of them, yeah.
So how do you convince somebody 60 of them? I mean, how desperate were you? Like, they might have been desperate, which is fair enough.
Yeah, I imagine they probably were pretty desperate. I mean, the fact they were in Colombia to begin with suggests they were probably exiled for some reason from from Venezuela. It's probably they were just, they were former army guys who were dissidents who didn't like Maduro and got kicked out for it. That kind of stuff happens,
Yeah.
Dictators, they have, very, very tight control.
No, he's a Democrat.
No. Maduro styles himself as a socialist. He's not. He's basically just the same sort of, dictatorial Fidel Castro shit that you get round that, really.
Yeah.
But he's as incompetent, as shitty as he is. He's probably better for the Venezuelan people than Trump anyway,
Oh, yeah, dude, but nothing good is for Trump. Like,
yeah.
No people can benefit from Trump, except for Trump.
Yeah, say what you want about Nicolas Maduro, he's not the opposition, which is basically a bunch of, like, semi-neo-Nazi, like, military junta dictatorship fans. That's the kind of government that is the alternative to Maduro. It's either, socialist, quote-unquote, dictatorship, or, like, a military junta. And neither of those are fun for the Venezuelan people. So.
No, they're just shit out of luck, aren't they?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, it's a shame that, like, every sort of left-wing movement in South America that actually had, principles and, like, a spine got, murdered in the 70s and the 80s. So none of them are really left. There's a couple left, Bolivia being an example. Lula da Silva in Brazil, he's all right. But, most of the time, being South American is just being, stepped on by a giant boot with USA written on it and not being able to really do too much about it.
Yeah.
So the world found this entire episode very, very funny because essentially Trump sort of kind of maybe orchestrated a whole bunch of guys trying to do a Bay of Pigs invasion in Venezuela, fucked it up so badly that he had to renounce any knowledge of it. The funny thing is, I don't think everyone in the administration got the memo because a lot of the guys got, Mike Pompeo in particular, I think, got very, very defensive when asked about it. Like, what's happened in Venezuela? What's the deal with this? You were the former head of the CIA. Is there something that you would have knowledge on? And it's just like, well, there's traces of Hezbollah. They have Hezbollah cells inside Venezuela. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Dude, that's a far cry. Like
that's the biggest fucking reach. I mean, you're not even on the right continent.
Yeah.
How did Hezbollah, a militia, a large militia, granted, but a militia get enough boats to sail over to Venezuela across the Atlantic Ocean?
Well, they don't have anything to win there.
Yeah, for literally no reason.
Well, why are you gonna gain? Because you're not gonna gain anything. Because the whole of that side of the world is all Christian, so it's kind of hard. At least in Europe's side, you kind of
There's more Muslims on the African and Eurasian continent than there is in fucking South America, I'll say that.
Yeah, no, 100%. There's not even one country that is 100% Muslim. So.
You could say they were going over there to make an oil deal, but they come from Lebanon, and Lebanon has oil. So
there's no...
Literally, like, you couldn't make this shit up if you tried. Like, when I said bad Tom Clancy novel?
Yeah.
This is what I mean. Like, they would throw shit at basically 18 different directions to try and cover this up. And the thing is, they didn't even really have to. It was May 2020. We were all focused on other things.
Yeah.
We were all
I think there were some other people that actually looked at it, so it's like...
What do you mean? Like...
As in, everybody was focusing on COVID and all that, but there were other people that actually looked and be like, oh, actually, this happened.
Quite a lot of the articles that I found came out quite a bit afterwards. That's the thing. There's a whole bunch I've got here. Most of them came out from, like, past 2020, like, 2021, 2022.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so people weren't really paying too much attention to this at the time. And I think the same thing is sort of happening now with what Trump's doing to Venezuela again.
Oh, with the boats outside of their borders?
Yes. So basically, if you didn't get from my joke at the beginning, Trump essentially fired a missile at a civilian boat, which he claimed had drugs on it. Claimed.
It's just a claim. It's not the actual thing.
No, there's no actual proof because the proof is now at the bottom of the fucking ocean. So there's no real way of checking.
Well, you can actually see footage of it.
Yeah.
It's just, and a lot of the websites that you look and they talk about it, it's like it's an illegal massacre.
Yes, it is.
It's like, and people are in the streets at the moment in Venezuela. They're uproared, and you read that one. It's the newest one.
US waves strikes on cartels in Venezuela. F-35 warplanes to deploy. Okay.
So it's like, and that's from yesterday.
Yeah, so I imagine it's probably going to get worse before it gets better over there.
Oh, yeah. But let's hope they're not going to start doing Iraq on them.
They probably are. I've got a feeling that Trump is even less in control of the administration than he was in his first term. He also has like a personal beef with Maduro now. Like, Maduro was a guy who wronged him, who defied him, who wouldn't like bend over to his will. So he's going to make it personal now. Now Trump is personally invested in, getting revenge on everyone who ever wronged him, whether they're American or not.
Well, the main issue, like, just to like cap all of it, the only thing that he's doing is giving Maduro the power to be like, we are turning into a military state because we are going to war. So you're basically reinforcing his need for power. Yeah. It could be like, all right, cool, we're at war now, so...
And, it's going to be another few years of Venezuelans looking at the whole situation and going, well, I fucking hate this guy, but that American guy, he's worse.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, he will not do anything, nothing good will come out of this.
No, there will be no good that comes out of it, unfortunately, which is a shame because, Venezuela's a beautiful country with lots of really interesting, like, history and culture there, I believe they were one of the first South American countries to gain independence. which was kind of impressive back then because they were fighting, the Spanish Empire.
Yeah, who
were a bunch of bastards, yes.
Yeah.
It's an old dead empire that we can call them bastards if we want to.
Okay. The Spanish Empire, not the Spanish.
Yeah,
the Spanish now, they're nice.
They had a different flag and everything back then. It was a whole thing. So, yeah. Where are we right now? Basically the same as where we were in 2019. We have Trump about to do an invasion of another nation that didn't attack him. Possibly for oil. There may be some oil interests involved there.
Possibly for cheap drugs.
Possibly for the cheap drugs. Possibly for just shits and giggles.
Possibly he's losing his mind because he's old and senile.
Possibly that.
Also, he's like foot out the door as well.
Yeah, he's 1 foot in the grave. He's gonna die soon. He probably wants to. He's what's that meme? Holden Blood Feast. U.S. Senator Holden Blood Feast. Please just let me kill some more children. I want to smell burning flesh one more time before I die. Age 107. Like that's Donald Trump right now. He's Holden Blood Feast.
Yeah, so it's fun. It's fun. Is there anything positive you can finish this on?
No, I can't. But I will say that whatever Trump does in Venezuela, for in an abstract sort of very aloof from different distance perspectives, we're sat over here in England perfectly safe. Whatever he does is going to be very funny. It's going to be hilarious because it's probably going to fuck up very badly.
Listen. You're gonna probably swallow your words. Something really bad's gonna happen.
Oh yeah,
then
probably.
Then you're gonna be like, "Oh, can't believe I said that."
Trump invades Venezuela and then suddenly says, we're gonna turn this into the new Gaza Strip or something like that.
This is gonna be the new resorts. I'm gonna build a resort right here.
It's gonna be the shape of my dick, and it's gonna be huge,
very small.
It's gonna be real size, so it's gonna take up most of the continent. I mean, that's the kind of shit he's going to start doing down there.
Yeah.
I mean, look into what Cuba was like before the Cuban Revolution, and basically that is what Trump wants to do with all of South America. He wants to turn it into basically a giant mafia casino state where, rich people can go and drink rum whilst getting their feet massaged by brown people. That's what they want. Yeah. And Trump's going to try and do it, and he's going to learn pretty quickly. That's not the way the world works anymore. You can't just do that. And
well, we'll find out now because it's been a day since he said he's gonna send the planes in.
Yeah, I suppose we'll find out. This might be one of those things where we say something, we make some predictions, and then what happens is actually worse.
It's gonna probably be worse. Right?
Probably. I mean, 4,000 Marines is a bit more than 60 guys.
Yeah, and they're Marines.
And they're Marines.
I'll give them that. They're the second strongest trained soldiers in the world.
Yeah,
SAS are still the first.
They're still better.
They're still better trained.
They still train the other people,
They're still so much better.
And they're also blood psychopaths, which really helps.
Yeah, I mean, you do need that.
I mean, feeling emotions is not helpful in a war zone, apparently. So, to wrap this up in a nice, pretty way,
okay.
Trump's probably going to invade Venezuela. It's probably going to suck muchly for basically everybody. Trump is still going to find a way to fuck this whole thing up, I imagine. I wouldn't be surprised if after Maduro gets taken out, there's a whole bunch of guerrilla fighting, Vietnam style, Marines getting baited into punji pits, large spinning traps, that kind of thing. So the Americans will wade dick first into a war they're not really prepared for and don't know how to fight. Get the shit shot out of them, and then probably leave around 2046. Let's go for 2046. That's probably by the time they finally get out of there, and it'll be 4 Democrat administrations.
No, it wouldn't be 2046, because they were in Iraq for 4 years, 5 years?
No, they were in Iraq until very recently, dude.
No.
You're thinking of Afghanistan. We were there for 21 years.
Were they?
Yeah, 21 years.
Didn't they go in, did the deed, kind of left, but still stayed?
No, they stayed there for thousands of soldiers strong for a long period of time.
Never mind then. Well, on that cheerful note, I think we should stop there because it's
stop there before we accidentally jinx a new forever war into existence. Because that is not what we want to do with this channel. In fact, the only thing you should be doing with this channel is liking and subscribing. Isn't that a segue?
Oh, that's a good segue. Finally.
I know.
A good segue.
Eventually, I will remember to actually tell people at the start of the video, but that won't be today.
Yeah, not today. All right. I'll see you guys next time.
See you guys next week, and until then, like and subscribe.